And fresh off his win of the WBO International Cruiserweight Championship, Brandon Bulletproof Glanton joins the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast as promised.
Oh my God, this time, unfortunately, the heart doesn't do everything. Said it's retired at the end of round.
Well, as promised, the new WBO Cruiserweight International Champion comes back to the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. Brandon Bulletproof Glanton. Brandon, how are you?
I'm feeling amazing, wonderful. I'm elated. How you doing?
It was great. It was great. A great fight. Didn't last long, as we predicted. I thought it wouldn't go that far. I think that it was a good stoppage for the trainer to get him out of there. But quite a great performance you put on. If you could, now the training's over, how was training camp going in? Was there anything that was that you couldn't say that was going on?
You know what? My mom's sitting right here, but training camp was a female dog completely.
Yeah.
Training camp, let me tell you something. My sparring partner, Price Taylor from New York, shout out Price, man, that kid is different. Every time he comes to camp, he gets better, but this time he just was so much more powerful, so much more ring intellect. Like the guy got better and he made training camp hard. Every time we sparred, um, I had to dig deep and really, you wouldn't think we were friends. That's for sure. So
Well, I was watching on IG.
yeah,
there was
no,
there was a lot of trash talk there.
it was rough. It was rough, but man, I love
No,
that dude, man. He every time he's in camp, like I told you, I have a spectacular performance. He's
right.
6'4", 270 pounds of real man. So shout out to Price and my team, my family, everybody made training camp a lot easier because right there at the end, the last 3 weeks or so, it was just everything was hard from the temperature, from the pipes bursting at the gym, from all different types of charges coming up, my body, everything hurt.
Right.
And right there during cut week, it all cleared up. I got better and everything got smoother and that was it. I think if you my mom sitting right here, you can ask her. I talked to her about every day, and I just it got to a point where I felt like I was just on a wave. So it was very tough, but we got through it, and we knew my performance would be wonderful, and you saw it for yourself. So
Yeah, and going into that performance, you knew you were going into with a guy who he was going to bring it. He was a tough fighter. He was tough. He was not going to take too much. There was no give and take with him. He was going to put some pressure on you. So going through that camp, as tough as it was that something that you were okay with? Because you said this. You even told me this guy comes to fight. So you were predicting a fight that he was going to bring it at the best of him. So was that okay for you to go through that? And actually, it probably helped you in the end there.
yeah, no, like I told people, you do what you're supposed to do, you get what you're supposed to get.
Mhm.
Um, I'm okay with tough training camps. Every one of my injuries, everything that's ever happened to me, it's always been something I did to myself, whether it came from training, running, or whatever. I did it to my own self. Nobody ever gave me any damages that kept me out of the game. I did it to myself. So
Right.
I'm all right with that. I put
Okay.
myself through the ringer so that guy across from me can't do it. And
Right.
like I told you before, he was gonna have to walk through hell. And I saw when I hit him with the first left hook in the first round to the left hook to the body.
Mhm.
It's really quick, and like I said, my punches people can't tell on TV and on cameras that it hurts like that, but it's really implosive. So when
Mhm.
I hit him with that, and I saw him kind of
Mhm.
take that shot, I knew it did more than he showed. So I just smelled it on him, and I sensed that he would back out. Had it not been for his coach, getting him out of there. He would have quit on his shield. I saw him; he was about to make the decision to come back. He didn't want to, but once his coach made the choice for him, he was all right with it. So
And sometimes that's
I
better.
didn't.
It's sometimes that's better for the coach to do that. I mean,
Yeah, no, he saved that boy because I was gonna damage him.
mhm.
Especially being that WBO rules with a cut, an accidental cut before the fourth round, it's no contest. I did not
Oh,
fly all the way to France and deal with that weight cut, deal with that those that business for
mhm.
no reason. So 'cause a lot of times, just because you get a no contest doesn't mean you get a rematch. So
Right.
that might have that international opportunity might have been gone. So I know I had to go ahead and get him out of there. I didn't think it would come in the second. I Every time people ask me about the fight, even told you I thought it would be maybe the fifth or sixth round. But it was just there. I told coach in training, watch out for the right hand. I feel something. I feel quick. I feel elusive, and I feel like my right hand is gonna do some damage in this fight. And there we go.
Yeah. Well, I noticed in the first round, and you said that you alluded to the body, the hook to the body. I noticed he took a few steps back, and it
Mm-hmm.
almost took everything out. It almost looked like it took the wind out of him. He was
Mm-hmm.
gonna take the punches. He was gonna take them, but obviously getting punched uppercut and then the right hand afterwards, that was, I think, just too much for him to take. Bang bang. And obviously you saw in the video he did go out, and yes, I think maybe he wanted to fight, but I don't know if it would have went well. But
It
one thing
wouldn't
you
be
alluded
healthy.
to, no, not at all. No. But one thing you alluded to in our first interview when we were talking, and I caught it, you said you were 225 going over.
Mm-hmm.
How that weight cut? Yeah, that was a week out.
Yeah, two twenty
Um,
five 5 day. I started at 225. And then the day before the weigh in, I was 208. I finished cutting that morning, and obviously you saw I was small.
mhm.
And then when I got in the ring 224.
Oh,
So
wow. Sheesh. Well,
yeah,
we had a couple questions that came through as I posted up on to ask you some questions if you don't mind. One of the
sure.
questions is from someone who he's an amateur fighter and he wanted to know about that weight cut. He wanted to know, is it smart for an amateur to do a weight cut?
I think it's good for anybody to do some sort of weight cut. A massive weight cut like that, I don't think so because you got to think in those amateur tournaments, guys got to be whatever their weight is for sometimes 5 days because you weigh in every morning of the fight. So I think maybe a 3 pound, 3 to 5 pound cut daily. I don't think that's a bad thing because I
He
did it when I
said
stayed. I did it.
145 to 130
That's a lot,
for a
and
kid. He's 17.
yeah, I mean, depending on how long he has to stay there. If it's just one fight, then yeah, go ahead,
Mhm.
cut that weight. Stop playing,
Okay.
cut that weight. But
Okay.
when it's a tournament, I don't unless you can keep the weight down. If you can perform at that weight, if you can perform, you said to 135.
Yep. 135.
Yeah, if you can perform around 140, 143, even that's a lot. If you can perform, because you obviously you got to hydrate a bit to
Mhm.
be able to fight. So
Right.
if you and only he can answer that if he can acclimate to that and work and fight around that weight, then yeah. Because like I said, when I was fighting heavyweight at the amateurs, I was cutting every day from like a 205, maybe sometimes 206
Mhm.
to weigh in at 201 and then eat something, but I was used to it back then. Now you couldn't pay me to fight at 200 pounds,
Do you
you
feel
know.
strong? Do you feel strong when you're during your weight cut? Is there ever a time when you go into camp and you're like, I feel strong for this camp, the weight cut won't be an issue?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when you say an issue, it's like, okay, I can cut the weight, I can be zippy and fast and strong in spots while I'm cutting weight. Can I go through a 10-round fight at 200 pounds? Absolutely not. I would never. I'm not, no, absolutely not. No, I wouldn't. Can I operate? Can I live? Can I walk around? Can I, drive down the road? Yeah, I can do all that, but can I fight on a world level at weighing 200 pounds? No, no.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I don't have the same. I don't have the same engine,
Mhm.
right? I'm explosive in spots at 225. I can explode whenever I get ready. You saw it for yourself. But
Right.
that's why we have weigh-ins though. You know, we get
Mhm.
the one day to rehydrate, you know, but again that's in the pros. In the
Right.
amateurs, I don't think it's wise.
Okay. And then we got Steve from Hopewell, PA. He asked, when did, in your last fight, obviously Sunday, when did you know this fight was a wrap?
The minute I climbed through the ropes. You know, I think I started swiping my feet and it just clicked like this guy doesn't want any parts of me. And if he wants me to be more specific, when we clashed and the top of his head hit my face, and if he was bleed, if a guy's bleeding on top of the head, that means he's obviously you were leading here, or both guys were leading here.
Mhm.
So the top of his head hit me here, and I thought I was split. So he separated us, and he said it was him, but I still smelled the iron in his blood. I was pissed off because I said at that point I still thought I was cut. You know, my corner said, you know, it was signaling nothing's there, but I'm like, I smell it, I see it. I didn't realize it was his blood on me, but yeah, I knew he had to go, especially being that that was on my mind. Like they're gonna stop this fight within the 4 round period. I just wasted my time. Yeah, I got paid, but no, I want that belt. I want the accolades that come with it. So I guess you could say at the head class to be more specific.
Okay. And John from Atlanta, Georgia says, how was it when they wrapped that belt around your waist? And what was the night like?
In that moment, it was amazing. I felt completed. I felt like finally I'm off work. You know, the job this time has been completed. The night I actually spent the night driving back to Paris. Had a 3 hour drive, and yeah, I didn't sleep until I didn't sleep till last night until about 9 p.m. So I passed out. But that night, my team was happy. We stayed there to finish our paperwork and such, but
Mhm.
I went back to the room, took a shower, grabbed an apple, and we traveled over to Paris, and that was a 3 hour journey. So yeah, it was a rough night, but you know, it's worth it.
When does it sink in? When does it like actually sink in? You got the hardware. Like when does it actually sink in?
You know, it's
There it is, right there.
yeah, right. It
Hey.
for me, it sunk in before the fight. Like I told you, I had already been here. This was supposed to be mine with David Light. Um, so as far as I'm concerned, I just finished the job that started on December 2nd,
Mhm.
2022. You know, uh, obviously I told you how I felt about that fight.
Right.
Um, and so finally I've completed a job that took 2 years, you know. Like I told you, I'm the best cruiserweight in the world. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Number two is Jai Opataya. So I don't hope I'm not saying his name wrong, but the job was complete when I stepped through the ropes, I guess, because I knew what I was coming to do, and
Mhm.
I thought it was gonna go rougher than that, but um, you know, it didn't. So
Does that give you closure from the light fight now?
a piece,
Mhm.
and I'll be careful with my words, but I'm uncomfortable with the state of boxing, um,
Mhm.
with decisions made outside of the ring. So that's why I stressed to you last time. I just need to make sure I handle my business.
Right.
And from what I heard, I didn't witness one punch being thrown on that card, but from what I heard, there were some bad decisions. Um, and I'm glad that I prepared myself in training camp and my team and did everything that we were supposed to do, so we didn't have to worry about that.
And
You know,
again,
like
that's
I
why
said,
I
you put.
That's why I had questioned that to you last podcast when you were on the first time. You know, I didn't know if you were nervous about it, and you immediately shot back. This is not going long.
No, no, because I tell you right now, and I hope people don't get offended, but somebody was gonna die in that ring, and it wasn't me. You know,
Hmm.
um, and I hate to be like that, but at the same time, I'll be 32 on the 15th of February, and my son passed. I
Hmm.
don't have this. This is what it is. It's what we sign for. We're professionals. We sign contracts. You know what happens. Let's hope we get all type of expensive medicals beforehand. The damage done between the ropes is between him and God, and that was it. I don't, I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie to you or the people watching and say that I feel too much for it when it comes to in between the bells. Outside the bells, I got a big heart for anybody's child, but um, this is the road that chose me, you know. So I have, and now that I know that boxing can go either way, once you leave it in the judge's hands,
Hmm.
Brandon's got to play for keeps, you know.
And even though people might look at that differently, they don't understand. Um, they might look at that from the outside and say that that's ruthless or whatever. But this is the hurt business. This is
Listen,
what it is.
I've been homeless. I have been hungry. I have been uh, without, and so have a slew of other fighters. Right? I'm just the one speaking on it. You know, it's just a part of this game. And at the end of the day, if you're successful or unsuccessful, it's because of the choices you made or didn't make.
Right.
So, with what happened to me twice in a row, because Brandon didn't handle his business in wide enough margin for people to become persuaded that I won, I realize what I have to do now, and that's just what it is. I
Yeah.
don't think I don't think that's ruthless. I think it's just a fact.
Hmm.
I mean, I can sleep every night knowing that I'm doing the best to prepare a life for myself. So if this is the business, this is what I do. This is what I train for. This is what you all pay to see. Yes, I'm training to finish the show as quick as possible.
What did Coach Jason say afterwards? What was it? What was his initial feelings? Because I know you have a very strong bond with him, and he's he's been a tremendous impact on your life. What was his initial reaction when he saw you?
He was happy. He said he knew it was gonna happen the whole time. He didn't know the round. He was happy that the things that we worked on in camp showed themselves.
Mhm.
He said that some of the mistakes that I was, because I'm always picking a fight apart, right?
Mhm.
Some of the mistakes that I was told him about, he said I corrected them so quick I didn't have a chance to show the world that I could fix this or fix that. So he was happy with it. I think he had a complaint with one. I threw a left hook. I think my right hand was down, and we want to make sure we fix that. But um, he was happy with it. He's ready to get back to work and go for the next fight. Jason is Jason's really meticulous. So I
Mhm.
was happy to see him smiling, and I guess he's like you said, lightning can strike three times, right?
Yeah, no, I can tell you, you just never knew. But I will say, me and my brother did predict you to win early. I mean,
Yeah,
we just had a feeling. We just said, no, this is going to end very early, and we, I thought maybe the first round because I just didn't think he was in the same level as you. I thought that guy just was going to be outclassed, and he couldn't take the firepower that was coming back.
I was cutting weight on Thursday before the fight, and I looked at Jason and I said, you know what, this guy don't have the same IQ as me. And then, so it just for some reason his fights just started playing in my head. Like, you know what? He will fight. He can punch. He will punch with you, but he's not consistent on his jab. He has a jab, but he's not consistent. He doesn't look to. He's not running from you. So you know what? I'm gonna clip him. I'm gonna catch him in between. I'm gonna catch him. He's gonna try to punch with me because he's been able to bully everybody else. It just clicked. Like this guy's not smarter than me. If you notice, I would funnel him into the corners, and he didn't even. It was happening so quick. He just he just let me take more and more real estate in the ring, and I'm steady pushing him back, and he ran out of space. Before you know it, he's getting pounded on the ropes, and he doesn't even realize what's happening to him. So that's why
Right.
when he pushed me like 3 times. I let him do it because I was getting the space right back. It's okay, well, I'm getting it right back. But that guy had no idea. I was physically bigger and stronger, but uh, it was like I was in there with a child. He wasn't thinking, and I was.
Mhm. And I think he from the outset he knew that. But that leads us to the next
And he
opponent.
laughed at me the way in. Like he
Did he
literally
really?
he pointed at me and laughed at me, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, not good. That didn't
Yeah,
that didn't go over well. Huh?
yeah. No, it's just like I don't know what people think when they see me, because obviously I'm not the biggest when I'm weighing. I really shrink, but when he saw me the next day,
Hmm.
he was like, wow. You could see it in his face. Like this guy is double the size.
Yeah,
He heard me. I knew he heard me warming up, but no, it was an experience.
yeah. How was it over there in France?
Man,
That
you know
first
what?
time over there?
Yeah, I ain't going back to France.
Really?
No, no, no. I could not. I can't. The
What was it?
people were amazing,
Okay.
but I can't enjoy the food. It's so
Really?
different. And listen, don't get me wrong, the food is much cleaner than what we have here. It's much cleaner. My skin is nice and clear. I feel amazing, but I didn't enjoy one meal.
They don't have like French fries, stuff like that.
Okay, I enjoyed the fries. I enjoyed the fries. The fries were really, really clean, and the people were amazing. If I went back, it would be for the people and the 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 sightseeing. But nah, man, I have
What
to
was the
be
biggest
somewhere to eat.
What was the biggest difference in the food?
Flavor,
There was
honestly,
none, or there was too much.
there was no flavor, and I don't really eat a lot of bread. And they eat a lot of bread, a lot of
Yeah.
pasta. That's just not my thing. So I'm really big. I think one restaurant had a steak that I enjoyed, but and it was cooked perfectly to the right temperature. But I'm like a steak connoisseur, so the flavor just wasn't there. The flavor wasn't there. I just couldn't
Well,
do it.
You're from the South, so you probably like a little bit of a spicier.
My mom had a meal waiting on me when I got home.
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I was complaining about food the whole time. My coach was complaining about food. The rest of the team was complaining. So everybody on the team came back weighing less. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But the people, man, the people were amazing. Like people warned us about getting pickpocketed and all, but people people were happy to see us. Great fans, great people. I think I gave away a bunch of stuff, so it was a it was very enjoyable outside of the food.
Well, you do have to eat, so that probably
Yeah,
was the best thing. Wait, is that how many countries have you been to?
man.
And which was your
Yeah.
favorite?
My favorite so far is obviously has been Mexico. I love Tulum, but I've been all over the world, man. I've been to Kazakhstan.
Oh,
Um,
how was that? That
Very
they
cold.
always
I never want to go to that part of the world again.
it's very rough, like very
Very
different.
rough. I see. I see why a lot of other countries consider us soft because
Yeah.
they have
Huh.
to get it. Like I went to Kazakhstan, it was negative 24 degrees, and when people would go to the grocery store, it was a market where you got the whole fish, the whole pig, and people, the horse, and I was just like, yo, I can't do this.
Oh,
so
no kidding.
that's why those guys are really, really tough.
Okay. Wow.
So you
Yeah.
got to figure it out. But again, it has its beautiful parts, but it's not for me. Now, plus, I don't like the cold too much, man. I don't like the
Yeah. You
cold.
seem like a South guy.
Yeah, man, take me to Florida, man. Let's go to
Where are you at now?
Mexico. I'm at
Where
home,
you?
so I'm in Atlanta right now.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
cold outside. That's why I'm bundled up. It's
Is it
cold
cold
outside.
in
Yeah, it's
Atlanta?
30 degrees right now.
Oh,
So
wow. Well, join the club.
yeah,
It's 34
yeah.
here.
It
North of-
got
yeah.
warm apparently when I left, and now it's getting cold again.
And you're in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right in the city or a
Yeah,
suburb?
no, well, I'm outside the city. I'm in Ellenwood specifically. I don't
Okay.
know if
All
anybody
right.
know where that is. So,
Is that north of Atlanta?
east.
East. Okay. Yeah. Haven't been down there. I kind of stay where I'm at over here in Pennsylvania. I
Okay,
don't travel south much.
got you, got you.
No, but so what other countries have you been to other than which obviously but obviously Mexico is your best.
Yeah,
But
I've been
has,
to Belgium, like since Europe. Been to Morocco. I've been to Argentina. Um, Missed out on Cuba. Didn't get to go there. Been to Dominican Republic. Uh, I've been to damn, I've been some places. Um,
and I got a point for
been to
tomorrow.
Russia. Been to Russia. Um, Skipped out on Jamaica. Um, God, man, as soon as we get off here, I'm gonna remember. I've
Yeah,
been in a lot of places though.
but here's the point where I'm going to make. Um, so obviously you're like a road warrior that you're going to other places to fight.
Hmm. Oh
Um,
yeah, the UK, man. God, come
UK.
on,
So that's
bro.
where I'm getting. That's
All
where
over
I'm
the
getting
place
to.
in the UK, Manchester, London,
So you're
Bournemouth.
the next opponent for Brandon. What would you like to see? Obviously, CBS is the one that probably in the UK would be a good fight for you to have. Uh, would that interest you, or would you go to a different opponent?
You know, I'm very interested in Chris Billum. I think I told you how I felt
Yeah.
about him. I got some news after the fight that won't be my next fight because he already has obligations. So, um, and then after he does that, apparently he still has an obligation to Lawrence. So, um, Lawrence gave him the option to fight Masternak. So, that probably is gonna he's got some things he has to do before I can even get that fight. But my next opponent, from what I'm hearing, will most likely be in the UK.
Hmm.
It's been so many because that's what the cruiserweights are right now. I would like, obviously, I would like to fight at home if my people can come out and come see.
Right.
But it's okay. I love the UK. UK is cool. Only request I make is I don't have to fight outside. So, uh, but I can't think of anybody I would like to see other than him. The next, maybe a Jack Massey or a Chamberlain or I think his obligation is with Reactpor, so that's not gonna happen. Um, hey, I'm open for anything. Whatever keeps me on that road to him, obviously.
Mhm. Now I see a lot of these obligations though that are made. A lot of it has to do because of the championship belt, the governing bodies,
Hmm.
and what have you. Do you not have as much pull when you're going to their country as far as, hey, it seems like, and what I'm seeing in boxing, I don't know if you've heard, evidently there's a fight coming down in September between Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, that there's always skipping over. There's never, this guy's the number one guy, you're going to fight the number two guy. It's never like that. Would you be open to, if CBS was fighting someone on as a main event, you fighting Massey on the undercard, and then you two fighting? How is that not the piece of a puzzle that could fit together perfectly? You're willing to travel. Not many people that are in the top 10 are willing to travel. They will fight at their home.
Hmm.
And you
I
were one who said, I'll travel. I'll go there. You'll be the Glenn Johnson of the cruiserweights. You'll go there to fight.
well, it's because I'm not afraid of anybody. You can't set me up, and I knock people out, so I'm not worried about judges. You can't fool me. You can't. There's nobody can hide from me. I'm watching these cruiserweights. I'm watching bridgerweights. I'm watching these heavyweights. It's like I have common sense to see what's going on, and I don't think these guys trust their abilities too much. But if you want to put me on a plane for $5,000, $6,000 and then pay my whole team to be over here just because this guy is afraid to move around, then all right, let's do it. It's fine. I can be uncomfortable. Once you wrap your mind up in being getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, not much else matters. The ring is the same. Some are a little more bouncy, some are a little slower, some are faster, some are a little bigger, some a little smaller. These punches feel the same.
Mhm.
These depending on the organization, the rules are the same. For me, I did so much as an amateur between traveling, regular amateur fights, WSB fights. It's fine. I think it just adds stamps in my passport. I move around. It's not the most convenient thing, obviously, when you're in France and it's 30 degrees outside and you got to cut weight and people aren't used to turning the heat on inside. Is can be a little tough. But if you are locked in and you have that mindset, then nothing can stop you. Then hey, you go get it done. You go get it done. And what am I gonna say? No, I don't want the opportunity.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. If this is the only way I can do it, if I've tried everything else and it won't bend, if you don't go here, you won't take the fight, then I guess I'm on the road. I'm eventually gonna earn my respect where people have to come here. And
Mhm.
I'll put on the show then too.
Well, then let me ask you. Let's say, devil's advocate. Let's say you're not getting the fights that you want. Do you move to the heavyweight division?
Absolutely. In a heartbeat.
So how long would you wait for some of these guys to fight you?
I think they better keep me active.
Okay.
Yeah, because I get one chance.
Mhm.
And being that I'm already in the gym daily, I might the plan is always take 2 weeks off for complete rest and then sign for this whole resting thing and then I'm back in the gym 3 days later. So I think they should keep me active. Heavyweight is not the only reason we haven't gone yet is because I'm so close at cruiserweight.
Right.
And it's no sense in going up. Obviously, these are trees. These guys are trees. They're monsters. No sense in climbing that heavyweight ladder from the bottom if I don't
Right.
have to. If I can go ahead and catch a title or two and come on and go on up and fight some of the top guys, then that'll be smart. So I've been patient. And I was given my opportunity with David Light. And like I said, although I don't agree with how it unfolded, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, so I didn't get what I was supposed to get. Which would
Mhm.
that would have been the world title opportunity with Okolie. So, but I got more. I got more experience. I got to learn more about myself. I got to get better. I got to meet some amazing people, and ultimately, I'm a better fighter because of it. But now I'm much more seasoned than I was in December, and I don't think you guys will be waiting too long to see me at heavyweight, especially if they don't give me the opportunity that I deserve.
And I say that because I did see your fight with Philip Hergov,
Yeah,
and
man, that was. Would you believe that was my 13th time putting on a pair of gloves?
that's
Period.
what I
Like,
mean. You didn't look. I actually had to do a double take because I said that's Brandon because it didn't look the same. You didn't look the same. Yes, you had a good amateur career, but you just didn't look the same. You didn't
no,
look
that was my
as a
13th fight. That was
13.
that was my 13th amateur fight.
Oh, okay, because it looked like it was. Oh, that you didn't have headgear on, or
No, it was. I had no business. That's what I'm
oh
saying. Things are so
wow,
people don't understand how it is in the U.S. So those WSB fights are for the top amateur. There's technically semi-pro fights, and that's why, years back it was some of those guys. Some of those guys had losses on their pro record before they even turned pro, and because they had to get it had to get it cleaned up. So,
Okay.
like in some states, they would announce me um, with like six more fights than I had, and then two losses. And like, no, it was because some states saw those fights as pro fights, but then
Okay.
it got corrected. So now they fixed it and it has its own category. It's World Series of Boxing. I had no
Oh,
business. I
okay.
had no business in the ring with him. Um, they
But
told
you
me,
did good. I thought you did
you
well.
know, for 13 fights, yeah.
13 fights though, but I mean, here's a
That
guy.
guy had 44 of those WSB fights at the time.
That's what I'm saying. He had a ton of experience. And he was a big boy. He's not small. He wasn't small.
Mm.
And you weren't as the physical specimen you are now. You probably weren't doing the training that you doing now.
Yeah, no, I literally, that was 2014. I started fighting in 2013, May of 2013. And that fight was, I think it was February 2014. And yeah, I had no business over there. But because I had qualified in the WSB tournament here, when Cam Awesome decided that he wasn't gonna fight Philip Orgeris, I'm like, yeah, I'll go. You guys, yeah, I'll go. I was just excited. Like, hey, there we go. I would get a free trip. I get to go to Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Hated it. Hated it.
Oh,
But
no kidding.
it was worth the experience though. So I asked
Do you
the
ever see
ref.
him now? Do you ever see him now?
"Hmm?
Do you ever see him now?
I've heard a lot about him. I haven't seen him. I know he's doing well, but
Mhm.
that's not a matchup I'm afraid of for sure. I would definitely do that again.
No,
Let's
it'd be a
do it
different.
now.
It'd be different this time around. I could tell you that. It
Fight
definitely
now.
will.
I know how to
Right
throw
now, it'll be a
punches
different
now.
fight. Yeah.
He got it
No, I
in.
can
He
see it.
beat a guy who didn't know how to punch. So let's do it. Let's do it now.
Oh, we can
But
do it now. It'd be a little different.
yeah, no, he's definitely riding his wave. He's doing what he's supposed to do. So I remember in the airport, I saw the referee and I asked him why he stopped the fight, and he said, "I've seen that guy put people in the hospital. I didn't want you to get hurt." I'm like, huh. And I didn't understand it. I understand now that I know more about boxing, but I still wish he would have just let me just get my beating. But
Mhm.
like I said, it was fun. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got the whole experience. I'm glad I traveled through that crazy winter they had over there. Um, and I think things like that, taking early fights like that, and just getting in there with killers is what made me what I am today. You can't tell me can't tell I can't I'm gonna tell you no against anybody. We except Andy Ruiz when I'm fighting at 175. But uh uh no man, this is what I'm built for. It's what I'm made for. It's why I'm here.
So when do you get back into the gym and look to when do you want to get back into the ring?
Um I would like to fight in the next couple months. I'll be ready. I mean, coach told me he don't want me in the gym until the 13th of February. That's the date. But I woke up this morning and went around running errands. I'm like, man, I'm fresh as a fiddle.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to get back to work now. Honestly, the thing I'm gonna enjoy is seeing family. Like I said, sitting here with my mom, having fun, man. I feel good. And that's what the people at ProBox tell everybody. An active Glanton is a good Glanton. As long as I'm good, as long as I'm moving, and it's when I'm sitting up and I'm not fighting for 10 months and don't know what's coming. It makes you bitter with the sport. So
Right.
I would like to fight very soon. And you will see me very soon. I got something special coming up in March, so that'll definitely keep me active for a few months and ready to go.
Okay. Well, Zig Ziglar is a motivational speaker, and he said one time, one of his quotes was, "You'll never get where you want to be in life until you help others get where they want to be in life."
Hmm.
And I wanted to thank you and Nova Sports for giving me the opportunity to put you on, giving me a platform. And I can tell you that the post I did about your your victory, it exploded on my channel and got a ton of subscribers and it shows the kind of person that you are because you know what when that went up, people who didn't know you, and this is one of the reasons why I love doing this stuff, is because I want people to be invested in the people that you are, to know who you are. Look, you're sitting there with your mother next to, you're like a killer, and you're sitting next to your mom, sitting there. So this is Brandon Glanton walking down the street, not the guy you see in the ring punching on somebody, knocking them out senseless. So I want to see that and show my audience this is who these guys are. And my brother and a couple other people who don't know boxing much, and you could see that her mother's there, a very professional woman. And there she is right there, professional woman there. That's Mrs. Glanton. Just a beautiful family and a beautiful young man. And one of the things that they said was, I want Bulletproof to do well. Everybody that I talked to. And so it's an amazing thing. Miss Glanton, you've done a tremendous job with this young man, and something to be extremely proud of. He must have given you a hard time, all through his high school years and college.
I'm gonna tell you a story. You go first.
No, go ahead.
So before I even thought anything about a boxing glove, right? we're in her office right now. So right next door is the house. I remember I was a kid and I was some kind of way we got on top and I said, "Girls can't punch." And she said, "Oh yeah." We were downstairs. She punched in my arm. I swear to God, I remember the feeling. And I was crying. Told my dad, "Listen, no." So I had it good, man. I'm good. I'm all right.
It takes a strong woman as a mother to be behind someone like you are. And I, as a dad, it's something that I love to see too, as parents that that pour into their children.
I got what I need. That's for sure. Because listen, from Reno, you've been, yeah,
yeah,
from Dubai.
Wow.
She's been there. So
all of them.
She's not her first. This is not her first time seeing my hand not get raised when it was supposed to. So we done this before. We got experience. We got hey, it's a role we know all too well. So.
Oh man. Well, Brandon, as you promised, you were nice enough to come on after your victory. We knew the victory was going to happen. And you've blessed us again from coming on my podcast. I appreciate everything you've done for us. I want you, when you're doing your thing in March, please come back on, keep in contact with us to let us know what you're doing. And if you could give out your social media now so that they can follow you and Coach Jason, if you could.
Yeah. Everybody go check me out at Team Bulletproof on all social platforms, and TikTok is Team Bulletproof Official. Go check Coach Jason out at __ Coach Jason. Go check me out at Team Combat League. Go check Team Combat League out. It's Atlanta Attack. We got something for you. So that's I can speak about it because it's definitely happening. But come March, you will see me, and you might even get a chance to see me in there with Luis Ortiz. So trust me,
Wow.
heavyweight boxing for me is not, Team Combat League only has 6 weight classes, so there is no cruiserweight. So you will see me rumbling with the big boys very soon, and the whole world will get to see. It'll be one round smokers and such, but
Right.
it's definitely pro style fights. I don't know if you know much about it, but Team Combat League is definitely a huge platform, and for fighters like myself, it's great because you get a dose of the lights every other week.
And I do know someone who fights in there.
Yeah.
He fights in California out of there. He was a friend of ours. I worked his corner one time.
Okay.
So
All right. Well,
I do know what it is.
like I said before the last fight, don't blink.
Well, that'll be good. And again, also special thanks to Elliot and Nova Sports for hooking us up together.
Napa.
And Napa Fitness on Instagram, great guy. And you do have the right management. You are pointed in the right direction. Brandon, Bulletproof Glenn, again, thank you for coming on the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. You guys be sure to tune in to ProBox TV on Friday, February 16th. You'll see me on there commentating. So check us
wow,
out.
no kidding.
Yeah. You will see
Good. Right.
one of my nemesis fighting. So check it out.
Well, we'll have to have you on before that.
Sure. No
Good
worries.
thing, man. Of course, I appreciate it again. Thank you very much for joining us. And again, follow Brandon Bulletproof Glanton. This is the name you're going to not look at. There he is, the new WBO International Cruiserweight Champion of the World. Brandon, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.